No, I'm here. Sorry, I was
Whoops.
trying to rush to get some things finished, specifically renaming the stream before I hit the start button,
Ah, there we go.
which means tabbing through a lot of shit. So,
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm sorry I was late.
It's fine.
I mean, is it important that Lesser actually be there,
I
considering
mean,
that the mech can be there?
it's uh, it's a player consideration. If you want to roleplay, if you're fine to roleplay through your Mac and not partake in it, it's okay. But I know some players are super annoyed if they are not part of 3/4 or maybe the whole session. Depends on stuff, of course.
I mean,
So
I
that's
can. If I'm not. I have ways to occupy myself, let's say.
okay.
That came off weird. I can do other things. I don't have. If I'm not going to be in the session, I have other things I can do, and I can still stream the session.
Yeah, I got it. Okay. Then, yeah, I wrote about the next weekend thingy. Chris and I were discussing a little bit. I don't know if I will be fit enough to run it next week. So if you like to plan something over it, it would be fine if it's okay for you to just know hours before if I will be running or not, then I'll try to do so. But,
Okay, just keep us all up to date then.
yeah, by plan, I'll be home about 4 hours before the start of the game. But like I said, plans usually go late with that one.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's okay. Anybody got any questions before the actual session starts? Any?
Not about general things, just about things going on in the world, and that sounds like the session, so I'm good.
Yeah, Griffin, would you please do your recap in voice so everybody can hear it?
Okie doke. Hopefully this doesn't get any of the lawnmower outside, but last time we ended up talking to the Hycernians and ended up with a ceasefire. I've agreed to shuttle transport a representative of theirs, and we'll work together on searching and destroying King Watcher. We had to deal with the refugee crisis, to which Cobra has mostly acted as police and security. And then we went north to disrupt a bunch of subalterns. There we go, there's the word. Who took over another farm, but this time with more weapons. We then reset the computer and ended about there, with the current threat taken care of, us to the north, and hopefully the AI not taking over everything we know and love.
So, yes. Uh, so basically, after you reset the local, help the people at the farm, I guess you will move. Sorry, I have to close some chats so I won't be distracted. Too many communication tools on modern PCs. No. Basically, I suppose after the fight you will move back to Evergreen to rest, repair, and wait for the ship. I mean, for the shuttle you arranged to take the people off world, right?
Right. I think last time we said that there was probably about 3 weeks on that, and there might be like 2 more weeks. And I think in terms of concerns right now, we have King Watcher, which may or may not be up to more things. We want to find where it is, but the likeliest thing to do would be to go to the other side of the planet and leave Evergreen defenseless. So that would be a group decision kind of thing.
Yeah. That's on the you can make plans through the night, but on the next morning, Landmark a new shuttle arrives, not a one you scheduled, and this shuttle holds a surprise. It holds a Landmark Colonial crisis response team, and you see them. So they're all Lancers too, and you see them moving into patient's main building, and basically as they start to read logs, ask around people about a situation. They also scheduled a meeting with you. By schedule, I mean they
Yeah,
ordered
that
you.
sounds like exactly the thing we need to do. Convene on what's happening and what's going to happen.
Uh,
Of course, I can't contact Lester to come in, so I'm going to... I can't possibly invite her. And... well, Cobra's invited as long as Cobra doesn't wander off.
He'll come by.
Alright. Of course, it's a boring, stuffy meeting, but, well, maybe there's something interesting here for you.
the meeting is with Eddie Boo, the commander, only. When you both step in, he looks at Cobra with a look like, I didn't ask for that one, but sit down. So,
Alright?
you are the Lancers Premier Smoke, right?
That's correct. We've been on planet for several weeks now.
So I, of course, read through all the reports, but as reports tend to be, there are details missing. So could you recap what happened so far and what's your assessment of the situation?
As of so far, there's been military action against the colony. We've done our best to defend it from outside threats and put a stop to incursions. I believe there should be no continued incursions from the first threat, which, what name do they go by with the colony here again? What was Patience calling them? Or, like, everyone at large? The Gregorians, I guess?
Gregorians?
Yeah. So I'll say, like, I don't think that there will be a further Gregorian threat for the near future. However, a new threat has come to light. King Watcher. I suspect it might be a unleashed AI from a crashed vessel. It appears to have a certain effect on subalterns and has been trying to infiltrate the exterior systems of the colony. We've already had to reset 2 separate independent servers to try to stop it.
Oh.
Right now, King Watcher is causing a bigger crisis than the former threat. We now have a number of refugees to deal with and not quite enough space for them. So we need to either reclaim territory or take care of the threat entirely.
Did you mention the Gregorians in any of your reports? The real Gregorians?
I think if I recall right, early on we discovered that they were just people pretending to be aliens, and so that is in the reports. However, I guess for the sake of this discussion, I just use the word to indicate those forces.
Yeah, no, I mean, so basically they think aliens don't exist, and aliens exist. Did you mention that?
No, I do not mention to them
Okay.
again that, oh, by the way, we found real aliens. No, I don't say that.
Hyporians are what we call the people who were here first.
Okay. Yeah. No, that was a meta question, not an in-game question. So
Of course.
just
So yeah, I keep
Okay,
that part
so-
out, and I kind of try to highlight the current threat most of all.
what? Yeah, he nods. What do you know about the current threat?
As I said, I suspect it may be a old ship AI from a crashed vessel from back during the war. It may have merged with other AI and become a larger threat. I'm not entirely certain where it operates from, or how it connects to our current systems. It does, however, seem to have a force of subalterns, and I think, if I remember right, correct me on this, Teal-chan, it has the capacity to take over our servers and take control of our subalterns while they are under our control.
Yeah, he showed that capacity.
I have suspicions about where it might be, but without additional records from the Union, it'd be hard to pin down the exact locations of crashed vessels. We'd have to engage in some kind of search. However, until you arrived here, we've been relatively pinned down trying to keep the defense of the colony up. So your presence actually frees us up quite a bit.
Yeah. So yeah, if you think so. What are your suspicions about
I
the location?
think there might be vessels on the other side of the planet. However, I would have to travel there myself. I think with a few local searches, I could maybe pin it down. This is all hypothetical, though.
Yeah, your current order of defending the colony is stands. Hormone.
Mission confirmed on that.
I have some questions about the report about the missing soldiers from Scout Point Sierra, Watch Point Sierra. There's been a complaint filed about irregularities by the those leave posts. Your answer has been marked insufficient. Could you clear that up a little bit?
Of course. What kind of questions do you have?
What happened? For real?
I think as I lined it out in the report, the group went out on their own scouting mission and have been reassigned to a new mission that better fits their current scouting patterns.
I expect old soldiers to follow orders, not to get ideas and give themselves orders. Is this understood?
Of course it is.
Very well. As you probably recognize, you are not the highest ranking officials here anymore. Technically speaking, you are not under our direct command, but don't get in our way, right?
I never assumed as much. I always considered myself merely an ally of the colony. All things have been handled through patience, rather than directly through myself.
You mean like your negotiations with the Egregorians about the ceasefire, which you did without going through patience.
Ah, yes. A little bit of a fortuitous event, I would call it. I put myself at my own risk for such, and if it failed, then I assumed my team would be able to handle things from there. And of course, we did have prisoners at the time to exchange to assure my own safety and keep the current force that was protecting the colony at ah, full health. Zero says while trying to refer to like himself in the third person.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. The report also states that your subordinate here, he points at Cobra, said these weren't prisoners, but merely people you look out for who were here at your goodwill and not to be exchanged as hostages or held as hostages.
That's true. There may have been a little bit of a miscommunication. However, in the end, things worked out merely at my own peril. I suppose you could fault me for being dangerous and reckless, and I understand that.
Oh. Do you know anything about irregularities regarding access patterns to patients?
Access patterns to patients. Well, as I mentioned, King Watcher appears to be active, and I would suppose that it would be making some sort of attempt to infiltrate. However, I've mostly put that upon Lesser to take care of. She is our hacker, I'll say. I've so far trusted her decisions in handling this.
And you're sure she's not responsible for any irregularities, considering you frame her as hacker?
I suppose you'd have to take that up with Lester herself.
Very well. Then she shall meet me too. Or I had to do so.
Of course.
Anything else you would like to add?
I suppose I'd like to know the nature of your mission while you're here. You're still settling us on defense. What do you intend to do?
Our mission is assessing the situation and evaluating the continued existence of Evergreen.
I see. How many Lancers did you bring with you, and other forces? What do we have to defend the colony with now?
Our lance consists of me and 4 more lancers.
Zero will nod. A solid force. I suppose we could share further details about each other's equipment setups, but we could leave that for another time. Or a message.
I suppose that's none of your business. So,
Fair enough. And Zero just shrugs a little bit at that. Still, I put forward my own proposal that if you're here and you can defend Evergreen, then we can go out and search for King Watcher. But if that doesn't settle for you, then we can always continue to stay put as we have. I suppose one way or another we're getting paid, aren't we?
yeah, it's. If I got you right, you would have to scout for weeks. Is this right?
It ultimately depends. There is a shuttle on the platform right now. That could perhaps expedite the travel. However, that would mean we'd have to keep it on hand for however long we stay out there.
Oh, the shuttle is already gone.
Oh, well, we might have to get another one.
Yeah, it's
Our mechs are capable of flight, but it would still take an extended period of travel then. So those would be our options on the table.
yeah. If your reports are correct, which I suppose they are, we have to prepare for increased enemy defense around Evergreen by compromised subalterns, right?
That would seem to be the case, yes.
Yes, then do so.
Understood. Is there anything else?
No, you are dismissed.
Right, I'll get up and I'll take over with me. Alright. So, Cobra, what do you think of all this?
I'm surprised they haven't mentioned the contracted workers you tried to shuffle off world. But other than that, it went as well as could be expected.
Well, as it stands, the refugee crisis currently is our priority. I hope you've been keeping on top of that. I think they might be in danger soon. They're definitely the weakest element right here, but I doubt Landmark Colonial cares what happens to them, given what Patience has said before.
Right.
Do you have any suggestions as to their defense?
Other than building a shanty town and walling it up for them, I see nothing more we can do besides arming these people from some stores somewhere and teaching them how to adopt counterinsurgency tactics.
Well, I'll entrust you again to the defense of the refugees for now. See what you can to secure the area or allow them to escape unharmed. I'm trusting you to set those measures in place.
Very well.
It's a shame Lesser isn't around. Otherwise, she could explain to me what we can do about this King Watcher stuff. But I suppose for now, her mech will have to do. Uh, take her mech with you. Put it to some good use. Maybe have it haul something around for you.
Very well.
And I suppose for now, I'll see what other strings I can pull with my contacts off-world and see if maybe we can get another shuttle ride too while we're at it.
So yeah, basically the problem is all the shuttles that go to this planet are part of a bigger transport ship, and they usually just have enough shuttles to get their stuff on planet and then other stuff back up again. They usually
Right.
don't carry excess shuttles. You would have to have something that carries excess shuttles, or the
Yeah.
ability to build one on site.
Uh, Building one on site sounds fun, but I don't have that capacity, I don't think.
Yeah.
Well, I've already called for a shuttle for, other purposes. I would just need to get another one for personal purposes. Uh, yeah, it's a tough sell. I'm not quite sure what to do about that yet. Unless
Yeah.
there was some other way to get across the world a little bit faster.
Yeah.
So what's the plan?
The
Do we do some downtime activities now, or how do you want to do this?
you the next we can downtime sounds good. The next 2 weeks, because 2 weeks is about the time till your shuttle arrives. More and more refugees stack up on the outside of the city of Evergreen because they're not permitted to enter, and they're in the hundreds now. You don't hear much from the subalterns, and you free can do with your downtime. Yeah,
Okay.
basically whatever you want within the confines. So
With the shuttle coming, of course, Zero will make sure to handle it. He sends out the signal. He'll coordinate with Cobra a little bit to try to get a few more families just to fill up the shuttle and get their worth, since they might not be able to stay on planet anyway. And then make sure that the dignitaries are on board. I guess that means that his downtime is basically making sure that Landmark Colonial doesn't get a whiff of this.
okay. And okay, I'm thinking about how to frame that into the rules framework.
Right. I'm trying to think, like, in terms of triggers to use here, which, I guess
Yep.
could be trying to read the situation and make sure I don't run afoul of anyone.
Yeah, before any triggers are applied, there are several downtime actions.
Yeah.
And
Gotta pull up the book again over here. Let's take a look. Cobra might have a simpler action too if we want to take a look at that too real quick.
Well, I was
Go
just
and take a peek.
thinking about training the refugees in the outdoor survival and counterinsurgency tactics, like how to run and stay ahead of an attacking force so they don't get captured, that sort of thing. So I guess that would be a survive check for this downtime.
yes.
I know it's a good number, but I don't have training in my book, so I don't know exactly what that does.
Oh yeah. Second, I take a note, then I read it to you. Yeah, the training is part of the Wallflower book, and your expertise shines through and you accomplish the task at hand. The local forces are trained up to a higher standard, and then a next narrative, combat, attack, whatever, that involves the units you trained with won't be as costly for your side. So basically, rules-wise, if they get attacked, and it won't have as bad as an outcome for them it would have without your training.
That's good. Excellent, actually.
I mean, the additional downtime actions in the new Wallflower book are built camaraderie, How do you pronounce that in English?
Camaraderie.
Camaraderie. Thank you. I know all the words, but pronunciation is hard.
Of
Because
course.
pronunciation is not part in books. Okay. Use of word comms. Tinker, tune, or puzzle out. Training consultation. What you just did. Romance. And I think, yeah, the other ones are just adaptations from the base ones. So, 0.
Yep, that's me. I'm thinking what might fit here would be buying some time. Which would either be A, getting enough time for the refugees to get out before anyone notices them, and anyone notices the shuttle or that it came or went, or B, deferring anyone noticing that I was involved. Depending on which one fits best for your interpretation of how to do this.
Yeah, then. I mean, both. Both is fine. So go ahead and how do you go about it?
Basically, I'm going to try to keep track of what the colonial forces are looking at and paying attention to, and try to steer people away from that in their path, and try to make sure that they are focused in other places when things happen in the places that I care about. I'm trying to read a situation and then defer that information to others. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, let's give it a go and let's see that like natural one. Hey, it's 23. It's pretty good. A really good result for this in the book says enough time as you need for now until the next mission. So that is as best as it could possibly go. They trust me, they like me to some extent, and I keep everyone focused on the real threat. Don't look over here in this part of the woods. No, that's not a shuttle, that's just some cloud formation. Everything's fine.
Yeah. Because we basically wrap up 2 weeks. Commander Wu will bugger you about when Lesser shows up. When he said he wants to speak with Lesser, he didn't mean like next live, but today. So when will Lesser show up?
That's a good question. Lesser is currently on an independent mission. I don't know when she'll show back up again.
Which kind of mission?
Well, I tell you, but all the specifics kind of went over my head. See, I'm not very much of a computer person myself, you know? I read the book for how to handle the Lancer, and I guess that's about where my expertise ends.
Where's Lesser?
At this moment, I wouldn't know. Lesser cannot respond to communications at this moment.
Where did you send Lesser?
Well, that's the funny thing. They took the mission on their own.
They?
They singular.
Oh.
Is how I'm saying it. But yes, they took the mission on their own, and the bounds of it are currently unknown. I can only assume it has to do with the overall mission I've assigned them before. And I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing some results from that. Zero, of course, is putting on his best face of, no, it doesn't bother me at all, why do you ask? No, Lester's been missing for several weeks. I am not thinking about it at all, why?
Yeah.
Though, speaking of which, at this point, I might want to get one of those, pearl ankle bracelets just for when Lesser comes back. I'm gonna keep track of her from now on.
Lesser.
No,
Did I?
yeah, what's up?
Yeah. Basically, we are wrapping up 2 weeks, and you can the other two just declare their downtime actions. What do you what do you do with 2 weeks in Hive Home?
I mean, I continue doing what I was doing. Since it's all time, right?
Yeah. So, which downtime action do you want to take?
Power at a cost.
Yeah. Okay. Da, da, da.
Did you hear me?
Yes, I hear
Sorry.
you.
It's gonna sound weird to what I said a moment ago before we started the game, but I'm putting some clothes on, so I had to take the headset off.
Doesn't sound weird at all. No, it's
No, the food I ordered is almost here. So.
okay. Okay. Then the first option I choose is you have to give something up, then or leave something behind. Wealth, resources, allies. Please be creative and describe power. Achieving your goal involves you leaving something behind or giving something up.
I'm sorry, I heard you speaking all the options out loud. Did you decide on which one you were going with?
Yeah, I decided on no. It's one option which has 3 sub options, so to say: wealth, resources, allies, and you can choose now.
But what's the choices? I didn't.
Yes, give me a second. I copy and paste it. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna leave all my allies behind. That's a joke. I have no allies.
But you have your friendly AI.
No, remember, they're in the computer. The files are in the computer. It's a Zoolander joke. I have no wealth. I don't... This is a very confusing option to give me since I have really nothing. I'll give you the coat on my back.
Yeah, it's last time you asked for PBTA style options of making sacrifices.
No, I
Basically
understand. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what I could sacrifice in this point in time. Okay, creatively, you threw me in a dumpster last time, or forced my hand to be in a dumpster, and I smelled badly, and maybe at some point I have to escape detection because of said smell, and we've already covered that my smell is going to be on the outside of me because I'm wearing an SSC sylph, which, keeps me protected, so I lose the SSC sylph, because it's covered on the outside of it in stench. I bail on that to avoid detection. Is that agreeable?
So basically you run on short time because now you're not really protected anymore and can't sustain yourself. Did I get it right?
You said I had to lose something and come up with creative ways to why I
Yeah.
lost it. I don't think that I would run
Yeah.
out of time because of losing the SSC self. It just means that I'm not recycling my nutrients as I'm used to, which means that I'm now probably eating food that people have left outside or whatnot.
Okay, then, and let me just recap. And so you install some measures that prevents your Unival copy from getting erased again. That's what you tried, right?
That's what you said I had to, yeah.
Okay. Then let me take a note. Also, please remind me next time that I copy the Wallflower downtime actions for you into a handout so you can look them up yourself without spoiling yourself.
Oh, that'll be
Thank
good.
you.
So remind me between sessions in case I forget. Lesser, after you achieved your mango, do you want to stay in high form or do you want to sneak out and go to Evergreen?
Yeah, I want to stay there. I still have other goals to accomplish.
Let's okay. No. In sorry, 2 weeks 2 weeks have passed and the shuttle is closed. And Zero, you made agreed on upon a meeting point in the woods prior to the shuttle where the Hycernian / Egregorian
Hmm.
will wait for you. I guess you will.
Yeah, the
be there.
Gregorians, the scouts we talked to before, their families, and then I suppose the handful of refugees I kind of mentioned.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So
Yes.
we all met up in the woods.
Oh, yeah. No, I said. Sorry, I am a little bit confused.
That's okay.
Yeah, you meet up in the. No, what I'm trying to say is, you meet up with those two independently of all the others, right? Because all the others don't exactly know about your deal with the
Right,
Gregorian.
right. We have our one-time pad. We communicate. We start arrangements and anything they need. So yeah, I'll meet with them independently and see what we need to do.
Yeah. When you go there, they are escorted by a group of Egregorian rangers, and it's indeed a pair, a human and an Egregorian.
Hmm.
And the Egregorian is wearing like a cloaked hoodie thingy, and yeah, tries to be not obviously alien, but I mean it's you could think if they stay for weeks on there that he will find out. So they greet you, and it's one of the first things they ask about if you have any plan on having him hidden for the whole trip.
On the shuttle, no, I don't really have a plan for that. I've only been able to arrange for it to arrive. I can maybe try to speak with the pilot. I know my contacts wouldn't necessarily spoil anything that I've done, but anyone riding with you might know. Is that large problem for you. You are heading into Union space and should eventually make yourselves known. But I'm not sure if these refugee groups would necessarily spoil the surprise for you, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, with fear for the safety if somebody of a less open mind finds out. And also, of course, we want to play our cards exactly right and not the surprise to be spoiled by anybody.
Let's see. What was that equipment option called? The one that can sort of change your face some. I'm trying to remember what it was. There's got to be an equipment section somewhere around here.
Yeah, I guess.
But you know the thing I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I know. I
Uh,
think
so what I could do is, instead of having a corrective patch this time, I can acquire that item and I can hand it off to them to ensure their success and basically be down to just like the Omni Hook in terms of usefulness.
yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and mark off corrective, and I'm just going to go ahead and write disguise for the Gregorian.
Info skin. It's
What's
called
in?
info skin.
Info skin. There we go. Cool. Info skin, so not on me. It's cool.
Yeah.
So that's I'm down to the Omni Hook in my chest set now. But so having arranged to get that for myself and passing off my equipment, hopefully this will ensure the success of your mission and keep you safe during the travel.
The Gregorian nods and says thank you. And then the rangers salute and turn around. And the Gregorian says, please lead the way.
Okay. So I'll lead them to the landing point, and so we'll have the shuttle, we'll wait for the families, and make sure everyone boards safely and all that. I'll probably have a quick chat with the pilot to make sure, everything's going okay, his route's fine, all that,
Yeah.
And I'm good for, whatever the favor's going to be in the future kind of conversation.
For what?
I had to do this all in exchange for a favor that I'm going to have to owe, if you recall.
Yes. Oh, yeah. But you probably won't owe it to the pilot, but to the contact family.
Yeah, so I think that contact probably has like 2 or 3 favors on me now, jeez. Help deserters and recruited.
So, yeah, it's
Yeah, pretty sure he has 2 favors on me.
the you do the whole stunt during the night, so nobody sees the shuttle, because yeah, you can't go away that far from Evergreen.
Hmm.
Out. And so the pilot is in a bit of a hurry. He also wants to not be seen because that's the commands he has been given.
Right. Time has been off, has been bought. I know their patrol patterns, their focus is elsewhere. The families come in and load up.
Yeah. Then I suppose Cobra is also there just as backup. Something
Yeah.
happens, but
Okay,
Yeah.
Cobra, you're invited along if you wish.
But if you don't want to do anything else, the 2 diplomats are not at you. The families, the Evergreen families, really thank you because they they know their husbands, fathers, and so on could have been shot for deserting, but you helped them, and the refugees are also extremely thankful because Yeah, without you, they would have been stuck here. You know on your mind that you helped a lot of people breaking their contracts, and there's already
Of
some
course.
suspicion on you, but
Oh yes, yeah. Increasing amounts, I'm sure. But you know what? There's plenty of warm fuzzy feelings here as, they all give me their thanks and load up and start to fly away. At least some people aren't going to die in whatever terrible thing happens next year.
and so they fly away.
Alright. Well, Zero kind of takes out, sort of mentally notes that he still is going to have to owe a lot once he gets back to Union space, and for the time being hopes his mission lasts a few months longer to avoid it.
Oh yeah, this mission will last quite some time.
Mhm.
By your estimate.
Indeed. Um,
2 days later, Commander Wu wants a talk with you again. If you happen to know anything about those people from Sierra Watchpoint, because they are not even reporting from their new scouting mission anymore.
oh, are you certain? Maybe they bumped into King Watcher. Maybe there might be some forces out there.
Yeah, I'm certain they are not reporting anymore.
Well, perhaps I could do another scouting mission of my own and see if I can find them again.
He looks at you like with this look, so what's going on here? Yeah, go ahead and have a scouting mission. I'll be very interested what you find out this time.
Okay. So Zero is going to plan a scouting mission, and now here comes big bluff time. Zero needs to fabricate their deaths at the hands of some subalterns. So he's going to plan his route such that he's going to pass by where he's knows there's been some subaltern wreckage before.